You can't become the #1 drama on television without generating at least a little drama off-screen. NCIS has had a long time to create those stories. The show first premiered all the way back in 2003. Here are the facts every NCIS fan should know about the CBS series. Considering NCIS is about the US military, you wouldn't expect the show to be a big hit overseas. But since 2013, no fewer than 8 NCIS movies have been shown on British television. If you're wondering why you've never heard of NCIS movies before, don't worry, you haven't actually missed anything. Films like NCIS Judgment Day and NCIS War on Terror were cobbled together by assembling multi-episode arcs from the TV shows into one continuous story. Binge watching the old-fashioned way. NCIS is objectively one of the most popular shows on TV right now, if not of all time. And as a spin-off of JAG, it's one of the few spin-offs to outlive its predecessor. Where most shows' popularity drops off over time, that's just not true for NCIS. In its 7th season, it became the most watched scripted show on broadcast television. In its 10th, it surpassed the only 2 shows in front of it, Sunday Night Football and American Idol, to become the #1 show on network TV. It's never left the top 3 since. But as much as viewers love it, it hasn't won very many awards. The show has been nominated for more than a dozen People's Choice Awards and 3 Emmy Awards, twice for stunt performers, and once for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Drama Series. It did not win any of them. Law & Order has the famous sound used to transition between scenes.
These are their stories.
NCIS uses a similar sound effect. That sound was made by NCIS creator Donald Bellisario personally. When the show was entering production, he knew he wanted some kind of noise to guide the viewer from scene to scene, but he wasn't sure what, so he went into a recording studio and started messing around with a microphone. The one that ended up getting used is just Bellisario tapping on a mic with the palm of his hand. Coty de Pablo left the show in season 11, which also ended the arc of the relationship between her character, Ziva, and Tony DiNozzo. That left Michael Weatherly, who played DiNozzo, with a lot less to do. He realized that while the show was very good to him, it was time for him to move on. Weatherly went on to helm the documentary Jamaica Man, started his own production company, and landed a starring role on Bull. Actress Sasha Alexander, who moved on to Rizzoli and Isles, and a recurring role on Shameless, was part of the original cast of NCIS when it hit the air in 2003. Acting in a single-camera TV drama involves a lot of hard work and a lot of long hours, and by the end of the 2nd season, Alexander was tired of the grind of portraying Special Agent Kate Todd. As then showrunner Donald Bellisario was writing the 2nd season finale, Alexander came to him in tears and asked to be let go. Bellisario complied, spoke on her behalf to persuade CBS executives to let her out of her contract, and then killed off her character. Alexander has since said she doesn't regret leaving, but wishes it had gotten more press coverage during her tenure. NCIS has always been an ensemble show, but there's no mistaking that the star is Mark Harmon, and for good reason. He's a commanding presence, even with a character who's a man of few words. Leroy Jethro Gibbs doesn't talk any more than he has to, and Harmon can convey more with a glance or a nod than some actors manage with a monologue. In fact, it's hard for writers, especially new ones, to figure out how to write dialogue for the character. Sometimes before a script is finalized, writers will do what's called a Gibbs pass to determine what, if any, dialogue can be edited down or removed completely. The show's quirky/genius forensic scientist Abby Shudo gets a lot of work done thanks in part to a steady stream of a potent caffeine-rich energy drink called Caf-Pow. It's now a real commercially available beverage, but it's not what actress Pauley Perrette chugs when she's portraying Abby. The red stuff she's actually drinking is tart and bitter unsweetened cranberry juice.
I was gonna say 10.
Pauley Perrette, who plays Abby on NCIS, is extremely well qualified to play a forensic scientist. A couple of decades ago, she considered becoming an FBI agent, and she has a master's degree in criminal science from Valdosta State University in Georgia. She was even admitted into the John Jay School of Criminal Science in New York. She worked several jobs to pay her way through, including as a cook on a boat. Somebody who worked in the coat check room told her about a director who was looking for commercial actors, and Pauley Perrette gave it a shot, earning roles in advertisements as well as guest spots on TV shows before eventually landing on NCIS. One of the perks of holding a high rank in the real-life Naval Criminal Investigative Service, or the U.S. Navy, is the possibility of a cameo on NCIS. In 2005, around the time that he retired from the post he'd held for 8 years, real-world NCIS director David Brandt guest starred on an episode as NCIS Special Agent David Brandt. His successor as director, Thomas Betro, also appeared on the series, making a brief appearance on a 2007 NCIS episode as Coffee Man. Ray Mabus served as Secretary of the Navy from May 2009 to early 2017, a tenure that included an appearance on a 2009 episode of NCIS as an agent named Ray. Mark Harmon not only headlines the NCIS flagship, he's also an executive producer for the show and its spin-off, NCIS New Orleans. That credit isn't just a perk for having been with the franchise for so long. Harmon is a hands-on producer. He worked closely with fellow producer Gary Glassberg to develop New Orleans, participating in decisions regarding casting, shooting locations, and music selection. In Season 3, Thomas Morrow was out as NCIS director, and in came Jenny Shepard. The character shared some history with Gibbs, in that the two were once professional partners as well as a couple. That mirrors the relationship between the actors who portrayed Shepard and Gibbs, Lauren Holly and Mark Harmon. Years before NCIS, the two were both cast members on the 90s CBS medical drama Chicago Hope, and it's that connection that scored Holly the role of Shepard. Holly wrote on her official website that Harmon actually reached out when they were having trouble casting the role and arranged a meeting for Holly with the show's creator, Donald Belisario. She landed the part, which was initially supposed to just be a 6-episode arc before it turned into a 3-season run. After about 4 dozen episodes, writers killed off Jenny Shepard because Holly was ready to move on to other roles. Pauley Perrette was a standout of NCIS's ensemble cast since its beginnings in 2003, providing light moments as Caf-Pow fueled forensic scientist Abby Shudo. It was both a major TV moment and a big career move for Perrette when she left the show in 2018 after more than 350 episodes.
You want to help me?
Look, just take it and go, yeah?
You want to help me?
Say it. You want to help me?
Yes, I want to help you.
You can't. Stop!
Just after her farewell episode aired, Perrette tweeted out the reason why she fled NCIS. She reportedly suffered multiple physical assaults at work. There was some animosity and negativity stemming from an incident in 2016 when co-star Mark Harmon brought his pit bull Dave to the set. According to sources that spoke with Radar Online, Dave bit a member of the crew with such violent intensity that the victim had to get 16 stitches. Harmon kept Dave at home after that, except for the one time when he couldn't find a dog sitter and allowed Dave to hang out in his on-set trailer all day. Perrette was reportedly furious that Harmon's dog was back on the set and started to shout when Harmon tried to explain. Sources say Perrette even refused to shoot any scenes with Harmon. Most huge TV shows extend their cultural impact beyond just hundreds of episodes, offering merchandise for fans to enjoy. It's tough for an adult-oriented crime drama to sell ancillary items, but NCIS had cash registers ringing for a while, with CBS's website offering a version of the show's Bert the Farting Hippo novelty toy.
He's supposed to make that noise.
You have a stuffed animal that farts?
Yeah, it's cool, huh?
Bert is a cute hippopotamus puppet based on the one that Abby Shudo kept at her workstation, but which offered a little something extra in that it made fart sounds, just like the one seen on around a dozen episodes of NCIS. In 2002, Folk Manus, a company which produces a wide line of stuffed animal-type puppets for toy stores and gift shops, introduced a hippo which NCIS prop masters used on TV with little alteration other than dubbing in farting sounds in post-production. CBS eventually commissioned a more accurate, branded replica of Bert from Folk Manus, and the toy maker added a spiked collar and a soundbox. Then, according to a lawsuit filed in 2014, CBS's merchandiser went around Folk Manus and sought out a company in China to make the toys so the network could sell them at a greater profit. The puppet company wanted more than $700,000, and the suit was settled out of court in 2016. Like any real government agency office worth its mettle, the squad room in NCIS headquarters features a most wanted wall, bearing the images of the worst criminals that pose a threat to the United States' safety and security. Over the years, it's featured all manner of criminals, murderers, and terrorists, some of whom are created for the show and some real to add authenticity. Once the NCIS good guys eliminate them, they are removed from the wall. If they're killed, the most wanted individual gets a big red stripe across their portrait. But not all the people on the wall are bad guys, or even real guys. For a good while, the face of one of the supposedly at-large criminals belonged to Donald Belisario, creator of NCIS. Connected properties are all the rage in movies, what with the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DC Extended Universe, among others, but they're a thing in TV too. A number of the CW superhero shows share a common fake reality, while NCIS is also the connecting point for a number of television shows past and present. As it's been on the air for nearly 20 highly watched years now, it's easy to forget that NCIS was a spin-off of another less popular military drama also created by Donald Belisario called JAG, which aired from 1995 to 2005. NCIS itself spun off NCIS Los Angeles and NCIS New Orleans, with several actors crossing into the different shows. Characters from NCIS Los Angeles guest starred on CBS's Hawaii Five-0, which itself crossed over with CBS's Magnum P.I. remake. That puts all of those shows in the same universe, and you could even include Family Guy. In a 2012 episode of the animated series, news anchor Tom Tucker becomes an actor and lands a gig on NCIS. Mark Harmon plays himself playing Gibbs. Some parts seem so tailor-made to certain actors, or they portray the part for so long, that it's almost impossible to imagine anyone else in the role. Take Mark Harmon as Gibbs, for example. He's portrayed the taciturn naval investigator for nearly 2 decades, and it's the role for which he's most famous. Producers originally had someone else in mind for the role: Han Solo and Indiana Jones himself, Harrison Ford. According to Amazon, Ford, who was experiencing a bit of a downturn in his otherwise stellar movie career when NCIS was being developed in the early 2000s, was one of the producers' favored options to play Gibbs. Despite associates encouraging him to sign on for the role, he didn't have any interest in pursuing work on the episodic TV series, and Harmon got the gig. With about 400 episodes of reliable and satisfying television, with high production values and star power filmed and ready to go, NCIS is an attractive option for worldwide TV syndicators. It's a particular draw in Japan, where Fox Japan promoted the debut of the 11th season slate of episodes in January 2014 with a rerun marathon. Fox Japan aired the first 10 seasons of NCIS in their entirety and in order. It took a full 10 days to air all 234 episodes, a period which coincided with the New Year's holiday. The event also earned Fox Japan and NCIS a literal spot in the record books. The stunt was a shot at the Guinness World Record for longest uninterrupted transmission of a TV series. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.